In the mid-1970s, a quiet panic began to ripple across the United States. Young women, usually college students with long, dark hair, were vanishing without a trace from parks, parking lots, and campuses. The man responsible was the exact opposite of who the public expected to be a violent criminal. Ted Bundy was a handsome, articulate, and charming law student. He wore sports coats, spoke eloquently, and weaponized a deeply ingrained societal bias. People inherently trusted him. Looking at this map, we can track the sheer geographic scale of his hunting grounds. By moving seamlessly across Washington, Oregon, Utah, and Colorado, Bundy constantly reset his tracks, crossing state lines and escaping local police jurisdictions before detectives could even connect the cases. Police were effectively trying to catch a ghost. Because Bundy possessed an intimate understanding of criminal law and presented a flawless, professional exterior, he operated completely insulated from traditional law enforcement scrutiny. The system finally caught up to him in 1975. Utah police arrested Bundy after a routine traffic stop, eventually leading to his extradition to Colorado to stand trial for murder. But physical walls couldn't hold him. In June 1977, while acting as his own attorney, he was allowed access to the Aspen Courthouse Law Library. With the guard distracted, Bundy simply opened a second-story window and leaped into the mountains. He was recaptured 6 days later, but his next attempt was entirely calculated. In late 1977, after losing enough weight to fit through a narrow gap, he sawed through the ceiling of his cell, squeezed into the crawl space above, and slipped out through the jailer's apartment. By early 1978, he had traveled thousands of miles to Tallahassee, Florida. He was totally undetected, off the grid, and free to kill again. The justice system's physical constraints had completely failed. Handcuffs and jail cells were not going to stop him. Catching Bundy would require investigators to look much, much closer. On January 15, 1978, Bundy broke into the Chi Omega sorority house at Florida State University. Moving rapidly from room to room, he brutally attacked 4 women, killing 2 of them in under 15 minutes. Despite the extreme violence, he left behind almost nothing useful to detectives. There were no legible fingerprints on the doorknobs, and the primary weapon was gone. But on the body of victim Lisa Levy, investigators found a single glaring error. In a moment of pure aggression, the killer had left a distinct, violent human bite mark. This biological evidence shifted the case into a new arena. Identifying the killer would now depend on the precision of forensic dentistry rather than standard investigative work. Enter forensic odontology, the specialized practice of identifying human remains or suspects through dental records. The science is based on extreme durability and unique structure. Tooth enamel is the hardest substance in the human body, capable of surviving temperatures over 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit. This diagram shows the physical anatomy of a human tooth. Notice how the chewing area, the occlusal surface, is divided into anatomical zones. When a person bites down, the raised cusps and deeper grooves press into tissue, leaving specific pressure patterns. Add to that the wear and tear of a person's life. A chipped incisor, a slight overbite, or natural misalignment slowly alters the mouth's layout over decades. When these variables overlap, they transform a bite mark into a biological stamp. This allows a forensic dentist to link a specific jaw structure to the physical impression left at the crime scene. When Florida police finally stopped a stolen car in February 1978 and realized the driver was Ted Bundy, investigators immediately zeroed in on his mouth. Under a search warrant, a forensic dentist forced Bundy into a chair, taking silicone casts and plaster molds of his upper and lower jaw. The resulting casts revealed striking irregularities. Bundy's teeth were highly uneven, and several of his front teeth had distinct, jagged chips. As this animation demonstrates, investigators took a transparent sheet mapping Bundy's dental mold and laid it directly over a life-sized photograph of the victim's skin. The uneven alignment and the jagged chips intersected, locking perfectly into the bruised pattern. This objective, physical alignment finally shattered his facade of innocence. There was no charming his way out of his own dental impression. The 1979 Florida proceedings marked the first nationally televised murder trial in the United States. Bundy's extreme narcissism was on full display. He largely sabotaged his own defense team, insisting on questioning witnesses himself, confident he could charm the jury and the television cameras. But his charisma hit a wall when the prosecution brought out the forensic dentist. The clinical, visual demonstration of the bite mark cut right through Bundy's courtroom theatrics. After outsmarting investigators across multiple states and escaping high-security facilities twice, his downfall was a direct result of his own hubris, leaving a piece of his physical identity on a victim. That single piece of evidence sealed his fate. On January 24, 1989, Ted Bundy was executed in the electric chair at Florida State Prison. Yet, as criminal justice moved into the modern era, DNA analysis changed how we evaluate evidence. Today, standalone bite mark analysis is highly controversial. Because human skin shifts, swells, heals, and decays, a bruise is a terrible medium for recording exact measurements. Many legal scholars now categorize bite matching as unreliable junk science, leading to several modern exonerations. It leaves a profound historical irony. One of America's most elusive, intelligent, and terrifying serial killers was definitively brought down by a forensic technique that a judge might completely reject in a courtroom today.